Oh, everybody loves crack. I'm trying to make a crack house empire.
If I'm the lawyer, I'm gonna find a reason why you're a bigot or a racist.
Hey, I wouldn't say that was really protecting myself. I think I went on the offensive. Took the legs right out of her campaign, tanked it.
Listen here, crack ferret.
Crack ferret. That could be a fantastic new racial slur for whites. My brain didn't hear ore mining, it heard whore mining. We need to invest in some of these minority whore mines.
You here to fornicate in the bathroom, as we often do?
Why? This is my kind of morning show.
Hello and welcome to Man vs. Morning. A few weeks ago, we had on Richard High on this show, whom you might know as Angry Cops. Well, we didn't know it at the time of recording. Rich would later go on the Unsub podcast and reveal to us all and to the world the horrible situation happening in the Buffalo public school system. In all of that, he has our support. 1000%. What's going to be missing from this episode is any discussion of that and any updates on that because we recorded it before all that happened. If you want to see anything on that, head on over to the Unsub podcast or just catch up with those guys on Twitter. They have the latest, most up-to-date information. Now, what you will see in this episode is how a guy like Rich has been able to take his online presence and not only preserve himself, but to go on the offensive sometimes when necessary, and to do it all with a sense of integrity and a sense of humor. So if you're interested in that, come on along, hang out with us, and once again, wow, are we glad you're here.
There's so much Kool-Aid. My blood is Kool-Aid. My blood is Kool-Aid. Sergeant Major. Oh, yeah. Sergeant Major, point me in a direction and I'll destroy it. Whatever it is. Whatever it is.
See that 300-pound broad over there?
Yeah. You know what whaling is, right?
Oh, yes.
It's like time-honored tradition in the Army.
Yeah.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's
We call it Hoggin.
Hoggin, yes.
Yeah, Hoggin.
Some hog hunt?
You go Hoggin?
There's like pride in it. Like you walk her out of your barracks room the next day like, look at this.
Yeah.
She even smells weird.
Yeah. And like Hoggin is like, you get the prize for the biggest hog.
Yeah. Like you bring them back in the barracks and you all go to one room and you like show off all your hogs. Like, look how gross this is.
It's like a 4-H experience. You're just like, check out the livestock I brought in today.
Do you pose with them?
Oh, you'll take photos. Yeah, you'll take photos of them. And then the king of the day is the one that gets the biggest hog.
Yeah. If you ever get a hog that like knows she's a hog, that happened a couple of times.
Oh,
Like,
there's
aware
I've
of
been
the
fatting this. I've been fatting, and this
Yeah.
went up on Scud Missile for the last month.
Yeah.
Like arguing, like I remember watching these two like super drunk German girls argue about which one of them was like more of a hog in the room, and was like, "You guys have been here too many times.
Yeah.
like you've been picked up. Like you're going to the bar knowing what our game is, and you've ruined it."
See, the American boys think they're getting one up on us. We're fucking handsome, that idiots. I keep eating and eating as they feed me and feed me, and then I blow the shit out of their Venus.
Welcome to Man vs. Morning, everybody. We are so glad you're here. And wow, what is going on? Thank you, Rich, for joining us today.
I was told that I had to be here.
Yeah, we got I told him if he wants to remain on Pepperbox, he has to be on the show.
Is that how we're getting all of our guests?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm turning the screws. Yeah.
It's all bribes.
I'm Jake Watson. I'm here today with the lovely Nolan the Sandalorian, Tack the Tactician, and of course, Angry Cops, Rich. How are you doing, buddy?
You know what?
What?
I'm about to do a lot better.
Time to be in Rome. Lone Star.
There it is.
All right.
Wow.
Smells like a torta.
It's an abomination.
That's a Spanish hog. Like a porchetta, you know? Well, that's Italian.
I think the word is...
I get it.
I get it.
Crispy sides, fat cracklings.
Imagine if you got a
fat
torta
cracklings.
in Germany. If you were able to pull a Spanish hog, that would win. You'd get a plaque somewhere.
This is going on Pepperbox only, right?
No.
Oh, it's going everywhere?
The after
We're doing
show.
an
will.
after show that's on Pepperbox only.
Remind me about one of the proudest / dirtiest moments of my life in Germany.
excited.
And I was
you were
telling
in
the
Germany
story.
too?
I was there visiting. I was just there as a total civilian.
Yep.
He was just passing by, yeah.
It was passing by the hogs. Went by the market.
I was there for a little bit of sightseeing
Let's smell bad decisions.
and I smelt pig shite and I knew that there was going to be some hefty gals that I would be talking to and I would be eating the schnitzel.
And it would be a good time.
I had a hog get me back one time. I got taped by one. I escaped before but the drugging happened.
How did you... Wait.
We were hogging.
Yeah.
And then I woke up
As you do.
in a house, and I didn't know where I was, and the hog was taking advantage of me.
She was rooting around. She was truffle hunting. She was truffle hunting.
She'd been getting that good sweet
It was me and a buddy. It happened to both of us, and we both kind of like came to at the same time and ran out of the house, and then figured it out like a week later because he was a bar owner from Czech Republic, and so I came in the bar and was like, "Hey man, like, did you have a weird night?" And so we were in the woods running from someone that was chasing us, but it was both of us hearing
Maybe
the
it
other
was her.
one. Yeah, it was
You
both of
were
us hearing
in
the
the
other one, thinking that we were because we
Running
were like
from somebody
drugged.
that was chasing you.
Right, but he thought I was chasing him, and I thought he was chasing me, and we were
Right.
both just like barefoot.
You
with
guys
shirt
weren't
on
trying
in
to
the
hug
woods.
each other.
No.
So he says.
What happens in Germany?
I didn't know about this tradition, and I'm very glad to know about it
Really?
now.
There's not like a college version of that?
Kind of. Yeah, I think we would like joke about it as a concept. We didn't actually have the balls to go out and do it.
Jacob is a good boy. Don't sully him. All right. He can know about these things, but he doesn't do them.
He does not partake.
Yes.
I'm gonna start
not.
calling him Jacob from now on.
I like using people's full first names. It's like a thing that I do. And I think a part of it is like a psychological reason. Is because if somebody calls you like your full name,
Right.
there's
That
also
mom effect.
You're on a
yeah, it's kind of like a mom effect too. Where you're like, I can say things to you where I'm like, Jacob, that's inappropriate. And you're like, and instead of me being like, hey, shut up, Jake, you're like, oh, that was inappropriate.
Yeah, I'm
He
sorry.
said,
You're right.
He used
Just
Jacob.
hits that core.
Something about
cortex.
like, it just picks up the ears better, and people are like,
Does that work when you are like arresting somebody?
yes.
Does it?
Well, no, it's usually force. That's the most effective tool.
yeah. But I mean,
Looking at them and saying, Antoine.
if they're being compliant,
What, right to that name?
yeah.
Prior experience or just right?
We call it a little bit of both.
Yeah, right? Oh, 4 white guys talking about stuff. This has never
Stuff
gone
and
bad
things.
before.
This
No,
has
it's
never
fine.
gone bad. Yeah.
Sir Rich.
Yeah. Speaking of that.
Sir Rich, you have multiple careers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Please break down to me all of the things that you do because it's quite fascinating how you balance them all.
Well, first of all, and I think the most important is I'm a passionate lover. That in itself is a
4
job.
jobs.
That is a job.
I train 4 hours a day for passionate lovemaking.
I slow stroke it in Edge for at least 80 hours a week.
If I'm not on edge for 3 hours prior to the actual deed,
But yes, jobs. So yeah, I have many jobs. One of them is entertaining my friend group.
Right.
And the
works
other
at that
one's
4 hours a day.
yeah, that's nonstop. You don't work a day in your life if you love what you do. And so I'm a detective for the Buffalo Police Department in the Special Victims Unit. Still in the Army as a reservist, as a part-timer, as a drill sergeant. And obviously I do the YouTube social media stuff.
Yeah.
Landlord, because I've got the crack house.
You have 2 now, or just
I've
1?
I have 2.
You're working on 2.
The second one.
Are you having a crack house empire?
I'm trying to make a crack house empire. Yeah, like legitimately, I'm trying to make a crack house empire. And I talked to the boys yesterday, and I was like, I need items from like Unsub here. Just something. It doesn't have to be like a set of horns or anything
It
crazy.
can be the set of droopy horns.
It could be the droopy horns. It could, yeah. It could be the droopy horns.
ED horns right there.
And I'm getting like little brass placards made, and I'm putting them up all over my crack house, and it's going to be like a YouTuber experience.
Oh, heck
that's
yeah.
Hey, look at all these YouTubers that are a part of this. Well,
Yeah.
maybe not in the building of the crack house, but like in the universe.
Yeah.
The
That's
Unsub
awesome.
universe that we
Yeah.
have.
Are you going to leave it at a crack house as like an Airbnb experience? Like experience how the other half lives? Like come stay at
No.
the
What do you mean by other
crack
half?
house?
You should
Of the financial
You should
spectrum.
have seen the vlogs when he first walked
Oh, I
in
did.
there.
I went through
Terrifying.
Pepperbox things.
When I
we
was
were out here,
building
yeah.
the dossier on him, oh yeah.
Yeah. Did you find any pistols?
No, it was a hoarder's house. So it was, it's honestly, it's 5 doors down from the current mayor of the city of Buffalo's house. It's in a very nice neighborhood.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And it's, I'm not going to say exactly where it is, but it's in a nice spot of town.
Yeah.
And from the outside, it looked fine. It looked absolutely fine. No issues. Some paint chipping on the porch. Who gives a shit? Not a big deal. And I drove by it before I bought it. I'm looking it up on Zillow. I drive by
Oh,
it.
wow, this is nice.
I'm like,
nice.
cool. I couldn't go inside because it was a tax auction.
Yeah.
So she owed back taxes on it.
Right.
And I had just sold my home that I had lived in. And I needed, at the time, I didn't know taxes very well. And I thought I had to spend that money. Otherwise, it's going to be taxed capital gains.
Right.
that wasn't the case. So I didn't even need to buy the house.
Right.
But I fucked up and did.
Yeah.
So I bought it. And then I go and I'm like sending the woman letters like, hey, I own the house now. I know it was sold from underneath you because of the tax auction. If you want to rent it, that's fine. If you need some time, that's cool. Please contact me as soon as possible so we can just understand each other's situation and we can go from there.
Yeah.
And she ghosted me for 3 months. And I said, this. And in December of 2019, right when COVID was, rumbling and it was in China and not here in the United States yet.
Right.
I went in and I said, I've given so many letters. I don't see any cars. I knocked on the door a bunch of times. I'm going into my property now.
Right.
But that's it. I'm going in.
Yeah.
And that's the first episode of the Crack House is me legitimately, I'm going in right now. Let's see what it's like.
Now,
And
was she...
wrecked.
Yeah.
Wrecked.
What was the emotional like? Oh, I've made a mistake.
Even at that moment, I was like, this is all garbage. That's okay. I can deal with garbage. Hoarders' houses, you see it on TLC all the time.
Yeah, they just clean them out.
Clean them out.
And then they roll away the thing that's done.
Wipe up the rat shit
carpet's
that was in the sink and then carry on with a new day.
Right.
And then,
Sell
and
it for
so
8
I was,
times what you got it for.
yeah, so I was like, well, that's not in this case. Not in this case. That's another reason why it's an Airbnb is I got to make some money back. I'm in the red in this one. Yeah. So everything was fine. I walked in. I'm like, all right, it's a shithole. The ceilings are coming down. That sucks. There's trash and bullshit everywhere. But that's just shit I'm going to remove anyway. This shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
And then I got in the basement, and the basement had caved in, and I was like,
Yeah, that's a problem. That's a real problem.
I had a Tiger King moment before the Tiger King came out, and I was just like, I'm never going to financially recover from this.
Is that when the rage just boiled over?
It was the rage boiled over when I knew when I saw everything was wet, and my neighbor told me that the son, like the 20-something-year-old son of this woman, who's a degenerate, had turned on the water on the second floor and flooded the house intentionally. The basement had like 2 foot of water in it.
Flooded the house intentionally
like when it was
because
bad.
he didn't want the owner to have.
Because he was upset that his mom didn't pay taxes and that the house was being
Quick
sold.
side note on that. That happens all the time.
A lot.
All the time. People don't realize it, but I worked for a law office that did unlawful detainers, which is people who lose their mortgage and they're going to lose their house. They can't pay their mortgage, they're going to lose their house. So then they hire a law firm to get them out of there.
Yep.
After usually the bank reacquires it. People will go back into the house and just destroy it. Tear out all the pipes, destroy the house, leave water on like that. I mean, this was probably 10% of and this was 2008. So
I was worried.
During the bubble.
yeah, it was 2009. But yeah.
I was worried. And let me know if you've heard of this, because I have. Like people before they would leave, one of the worst things that you can do is they would pour concrete mix down the stack. So then somewhere, anywhere, or all throughout
just
your
back up
drainage, it would be a concrete block, and you would have to dig up the foundation in order to run a new sewer
Yeah, it's
line.
terrible.
So I was freaked out that was going to happen. If only that happened, everything else went wrong in that house. Then it became a total gut.
Did she like poop and pee everywhere?
No.
Any of that weirdness?
There was
shocking.
only one bathroom. It was on the second floor, and it had carpet, which red flag.
Yeah.
But there was no poop buckets, right? So I knew that she was using the toilet, and it was just a hoard in the sense of she collected a bunch of junk, and it was like dusty and cobwebby, but that was it. No feces, which is just. Thank God for that.
Yeah.
When I was watching your first episode, you went to go open that toilet. I was dying inside. I was like, no.
You got to do it.
I've seen all the TLC episodes.
Yep.
I know what comes next.
Yeah.
It's just going to be this weird, like, burnt black thing. And, like, then you're like, okay, where did everything go?
There's going to be a creature.
Yeah.
Yep. And I flipped it open. I was like, it's just water. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is it's the small victories.
It was a Christmas miracle.
Okay, we're gonna be all right.
It's a sad day when you open up the toilet. You're like, oh my God, it's normal. You know? You mean there isn't caked in shit and dead things and hair? Oh, you know, like if that's a high point, you know, you really hit a new low, and I did. But I'm coming back.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an Airbnb. I'm trying to get the cool shit from like all the different YouTubers that I've been along the journey and helped me out.
Yeah.
And yes, so it's almost done. I've just got to get mattresses for it, carpet the stairs.
Oh, good.
And put in, the knickknacks and stuff to make it the official YouTube house.
You've been putting time and energy into this for what, 5 years now?
There were like 6-month moments where I was like waiting on something or like saving up money in order to have like the appropriate person do the job.
Yeah.
Where it would be like radio silent for 5 or 6 months, which is a bummer, like for people watching, because I want people to enjoy the show. Obviously, I'm doing it because I enjoy it, but I also get enjoyment from people liking it.
Right.
So it was kind of rough because I'd have to save up money and there wouldn't be enough going on. I'd have to wait and it would be stagnant, like I said, for like 5 or 6 months at a time, several times. And that's why it took so long. But now I've got like, my buddy's got a construction company. I've been using him for a lot of the stuff. He's been helping me out. And instead of piecemealing it like I was doing, I'm just kind of having him run it. And I'm going to be more of just recording what's been going on. Not as much hands-on stuff. Which brings me to the second crack house.
Right.
It flooded a second time.
What?
So it flooded once.
Wait.
Flooded once, and then it flooded again 2 weeks ago.
Why, if after 5 years of the first one, is this all just for the glory of the empire? The crack house empire? Why would you go out and buy a second one after?
It's like the glory of rum, glory of the crack house.
And Rome falls. And
all Rome's fall.
All Rome's fall.
You do it in spite of that.
What did you ask me? Why did I do this stupid
Like,
shit?
why after 5 years of all this up
Crack
and down
hell.
of crack housery, why would you buy a second one?
Bad decision making.
But that's how you got in the first situation.
Yeah, I don't learn anything, Jacob. I don't
That's how
learn
he got into
anything.
YouTube as well.
Yeah, that's how I stayed in YouTube. I almost got fired from all of my jobs because of YouTube, and I was still like, this is who I am. I will not deny who I am. And and I stuck with it while all my friends were like, you're gonna end up in the poorhouse, dude.
It's not a phase, Mom.
Yeah. And then I struck my mom. You're absolutely right. Domestic violence.
She deserved it.
Acceptable if they're older than you.
That was something that we wanted to talk to you about, was like the conflict with like your online personality versus like the jobs that you have. Because like neither one of the jobs that you carry are very forgiving as far as like having a political opinion.
Yeah.
Well said, sir.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I've almost gotten fired from all my jobs. The police one.
Those really rigorous investigative journalists the other day tried to get you. 500 views on Detective Richard.
Wait, what?
So I'm like a local celebrity in like different
He's
ways.
a celebrity in all of our hearts.
In not great ways, huh?
Yeah, none of them are really great.
Like
Just because it says local celebrity doesn't mean it's a good
like
thing.
when you arrest a dude and then he finds out you're a YouTube personality, if I'm the lawyer, the first place I'm going is there. Like I'm gonna find a reason why you're like a bigot or a racist, or like I'm like my defense is gonna be built off of your YouTube personality.
Oh, there are stories about that. Oh man, I mean, we just that I could tell you some stories. Quickly, there was a deposition. There was basically one of my gang guns and drugs units when I was on patrol was being investigated because they're like, you're unfairly ticketing and arresting black people over other races.
Right.
And our response, and quite literally, is we would go to areas where there was gang violence, usually after a shooting, and then smother the area, try to get the gang members, especially the ones that are involved, and then we would go throughout the city and hit up these different hot spots. And there's no like white KKK gangs in Buffalo.
Yeah.
There's a majority are small, like black gangs that have like one or two white guys in it.
Yeah.
But the majority of our arrests were like African Americans or Hispanics, and of course we have white guys that we would pick up for like getting prostitutes and had dope on them.
Yeah.
But when you're going after gangs and the majority of the gangs in the city are black, well then
Gangs
the majority of your arrests are going to be
arrest.
black.
That just-
So
no.
Yeah.
That doesn't
Yeah.
track.
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. Too much brain.
Yeah,
Useless brain.
It's the same. It's the same crap, and like that's like Appalachia where I grew up. It's the exact same crap. It's just like methy white people, and they're all doing the same thing.
They're all doing the same thing. So they have this deposition where it's these group of people are doing a class action suit against the city and the department because of like quote unquote racist tactics, which is literally us responding to gang violence. There you go. Right. And one of the things they brought up was my YouTube career, and I was like, they're going to pull stuff from me on like Unsub or the Black Rifle Coffee podcast or, you know, any number of my videos talking shit about somebody, or even Donut, you know, doing the breakdowns of when I was arresting people, and they would put it on the internet and he'd be like, that's Rich. And
Oh, hey, I know him.
I know that guy.
I know that guy.
I know that guy. And they didn't. They brought up the crack house, and I was like, where is this going?
Because it improved a home.
Because it's a
that needed
crack
improvement.
house.
Oh, because you're like a slumlord of like.
If you called it a
because you
meth
called it a
house.
crack house.
You're not even.
So they made it racist. You're calling the crack doesn't have a color assigned to it.
Sometimes it's more yellow than white.
Yeah, but this is like the classic like liberal like brain rot of like, oh, it's a crack house, so you mean black people? Like,
Bro,
oh no, you mean black
That's
people.
exactly what they said.
Like the bugs in Starship Troopers are refugees.
Right.
Yes. We're the colonizers.
That's right.
That's insane.
So he brings it up. He's just like, so you have a series called This Old Crack House. I'm like, can you tell me what a crack house is? I'm like, oh, it's any dilapidated building. Yeah. He's like, are there dilapidated buildings on the east side where black people live? And I'm like, there's fucking crack houses. Yeah, got me.
This house is 5 houses down from the mayor, so
Right? Well, I didn't want to say that. You know, put the mayor on blast and then let, you know, these.
the mayor lives in a crack house too.
The mayor lives 5 doors down from my
It's a
crack house.
crack street
was
in a
the-
crack neighborhood.
It's a crack
Did you
house.
just assume that the mayor isn't black? Though?
No, who was the Chicago mayor that got caught with like a prostitute smoking crack and then won his re-election?
That was Washington, D.C., wasn't it?
Oh, was it? I thought it was
That
Chicago.
tracks.
It was D.C., but I know D.C. got
That
him.
sounds like DC or San
It
Francisco.
was like in like the 90s. He was like DC actively like running, and then it got released on local news. It was like in like the surveillance camera inside the hotel of him like smoking crack rock, and then he won his election after that.
Yeah,
It used to
still
be
one.
a proper country.
Yeah.
Hey, a man of the people.
the rent is too damn high.
So yeah, they were asking me questions about like, you know, what who smokes crack, and you know, and my response is
Crackheads.
it's
I
like,
need white people.
do black people smoke crack? Are they the only ones? And my literal response is I go, oh no, everybody loves crack. Like, because everybody does love crack, and crack is king. I go, it's the #1 drug, you know, really.
Can you show me someone who smokes crack who doesn't love it?
Can you tell me that you haven't smoked
Look at
crack?
him. This guy just hit a crack pipe, and look how happy he is.
Can you? I can neither confirm nor deny that everybody loves crack.
I smoke crack.
So they played the first episode of This Old Crack House, a good portion of it, like 5 or 10 minutes of it, and would like pause it at random things and being like, "Is what you said racist about black people?" And I'm like, "This isn't a white neighborhood.
Yeah.
This isn't a majority white neighborhood of the city, and I'm calling it a crack house. So you being like crack house is black is kind of falling flat on its face at the moment because it's in a majority white portion of one of the areas of the city. So it's like whatever.
Guaranteed they didn't like MapQuest the address. Like they didn't do that much homework on it. They saw crack house and they were like, got him.
Which
Even
is
if
funny
you
because
go
it
with
was
that
like
narrative.
it got doxxed like 2 or 3 times from local Antifa and BLM guys who were like, "Hey, you know, South Buffalo, this is your neighbor, Angry Cops, and he's a racist, bigoted piece of shit. You should do something about it. You know, like, hey, go set the house on fire."
Yeah.
You know, that friendly little nudge that anarchists usually throw.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
Just like January 6th. Right?
Well, that was Nancy Pelosi.
Let's move on. Let's go right forward.
We can go down a whole thing on that.
Hey, what's that? Go to combatflipflops.com/manversus to score on some of our favorite footwear. And yes, I did do a backflip in flip-flops.
this is my kind of morning show. Like, you know,
They won't let me go down. Anytime I start in on like a conspiracy theory thing, the reason there's a White Claw in the birdhouse is because if I started on something, they just fade cut it out to where like nothing I say makes the show and they just drink a beer together. I can't even bring up Nancy Pelosi at January 6th.
is it because like birds aren't real?
That's exactly why you're picking it up.
They aren't. And we didn't go to the moon.
Can you prove to me that birds are real? I don't think you can.
I remember somebody was just like, have you ever seen a baby bird? I'm like, yeah. Like, our parents told us not to touch them all the time because then our scent would scare away the mama bird.
Yeah.
A complete and utter lie.
Yeah.
There was literally, I don't know why,
true
but
with
on the
bears.
driveway,
Bears?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, if you transplant a bear after a wildfire, you cover them in Vaseline so that the new mom will lick all the Vaseline off and it smells like new mom and she'll accept it into the cub.
That is
Oh,
true.
I thought that was for the sex.
Because remember you were telling me about all those bears in the woods the other day, or is that a slang term for something that I don't understand?
no.
Was that when he was
large,
Hoggin?
hairy men,
totally
like,
bears in the woods?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you said something about
What are you
like
doing
the
after
bears of Buffalo or
Yeah.
some sort of group that you said was going on.
the bears
Is
of
that why
Boston?
he has a bear emoji next to your contact?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I do that because, you know, I men.
Right. He's one of those bear guys.
Of course.
So I remember the first time I found out about the bear gay thing culture. We
Oh,
were,
bear and twink?
yeah, I don't know the details, but we were
I'm technically an otter, although I could lose some weight.
It's fair.
we were leaving the Corridor Digital Studio one time, and that neighborhood, they used to throw raves down there all the time
Oh, yeah,
because it was these abandoned like production warehouses.
Yeah.
Ours used to be a paint factory. Like there's several.
Is that why every guy was like licking the windows? Sorry.
Dude,
Low hanging fruit on
Yeah.
that joke I had to take.
so we're leaving one day, and there's all these like giant hairy dudes who are clearly like on roids outside of this warehouse where they're having a party, and they're all like in weird leather and stuff. And I go, what the hell?
yeah, they're not on roids. They're rolling on E and
Yeah, it's
Molly.
happening there. And somebody's like, oh, it's a bear and whatever party. And I go, what? And anyway, that's how I found out about that.
Yep.
Saw one with my own eyes.
I
the
told
wrong
you-
ways.
My own two eyes.
When Jake and I like really had like a good like sit down, like our first like it was just him and I drinking, you know, and everybody else had like gone to bed.
Yeah.
We were in Vegas.
And you sat him down and you said, let me tell you about homosexual tendencies.
I was telling him a story.
I've had just enough tequila to let a Freudian slip out.
Right. So I was telling some sort of story and I brought up Grindr, and he was just like, what is that? And I described basically what Grindr is, and he's just like, he's like, that's horrible. That's horrible. I go, yeah. I'm like, yeah. That's why I have so many STDs, and like you're like, that's why STDs are rampant in that community.
It's how you like cut your teeth in the police department and made a name for yourself. You were the best undercover bear. Back when you could police like a proper country.
Oh my god, that sounds like a really good porno / sitcom in the 80s. Undercover Bear.
Undercover bear. it's all filmed at the local YMCA in the bathroom. You're just one of those guys that's like standing on the, you know what I mean?
Leg up.
Hey, hello, fellow gay. Are you here? Are you here to fornicate in the bathroom as we often do?
What's your report, detective? Well, they're sodomizing each other. I mean, what are you gonna do? I don't know. Somebody get him.
Was that good for you? Surprise, cockbag. It's a sting operation.
Dude, it would be basically that South Park episode with like the pimping, where the one undercover
in it.
cop is just like getting railed all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, these 70 guys didn't even use a condom.
They had a sting like that.
What do we
when I
get
was
him on?
growing
Not
up,
using a condom and sodomy.
Yeah, the little town that I grew up in.
What are they,
Virginia,
Greek?
They had an undercover sting at the local YMCA. They like closed the doors to the YMCA. They arrested like, I don't know, like 25 dudes for like having gay sex with each other at the YMCA. Like that was their like charge, was for being gay. And like 10 of them were deacons at the church that I went to. It was like it was a big thing in my small town.
Weird.
But like, can you like, how do you like you
can't
arrest
have an
people for being
orgy
gay?
at the YMCA though. That's
guess.
got to be against some sort of municipal.
It seems like why the YMCA exists. I mean, there's a whole song about it.
Young man, won't you come in my ass? I said, young man, in the showers with sass. Why don't you just open up your ass?
That's our theme song. That's the Man vs. Morning theme song.
This is a movement I can get behind.
Welcome to Man versus Morning.
we have to cut everything before this moment.
Chase, just rearrange everything.
And the episode starts now.
We don't really have autism because this train is off the track.
It's already off the track.
Oh man.
So, anyways,
What were we talking about?
the crack houses.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask, did you get any thank you from the mayor for cleaning up
the
at least
city.
one of them?
Yeah.
No.
You know, it seems like you're always in these thankless job positions.
It's real talk.
I can relate to you as a producer in that way.
Whenever I get pushback from somebody like who thinks that I'm like I'm a lovable idiot, but I'm not like an idiot. I'm not a moron. So whenever I get pushback from somebody for something that I do in any job, Army, YouTube,
Yeah.
policing, it's always from somebody that doesn't know me. They might be like a supervisor that's like above my supervisor. That's like not a direct supervisor. They're not directly in charge of me, but like they hear stories. And so their only impression of me is from what they hear. And it's never actually working alongside me.
Yeah.
And every circumstance, once that person that's giving me a hard time starts working either as my direct supervisor or alongside me in some other form or fashion, they're like, oh, you're just f***ing weird, which is my line. I'm just like, hey, listen, I'm a weird guy, but I'm not going to
weirdos.
Yeah, but I'm not here to like f- with you in a bad way and be like, anti-establishment. I'm just funny and weird.
You're a drill sergeant and a detective. How could you be anti-establishment?
Yeah, I know. I kind of like this. I kind of respect authority a lot. So
That's hilarious that anybody would even.
The amount of people that are in those jobs, though, that are pretty blatantly anti-government,
Yeah.
which should like surprise
many.
you. It's
All of us.
I saw a flag recently. It was like the anti-government, but I work for the government club.
Yep. It's like, why do you hate the government? Well, because I work for them. Yeah, I know how bad they are.
The Nick Freitas theory.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like I had chiefs that were in charge of me that then became like deputy commissioners, and they thought that I was like this rabble rouser, and then I worked directly underneath them, and I'm not afraid to talk to anybody that's in a supervisor position.
Yeah.
I just know you have to be straightforward and honest with them, and then you can have a very honest discussion about issues.
Yeah.
And one of those things was I went into her office after like working underneath her for a while, and I was like, hey, I'm not getting promoted. I know that it's from the videos, but like, what do I have to do to prove to you and to the commissioner that I am a team player and I'm capable? Like, what do you want to see from me?
Yeah.
And this supervisor's like, I did not expect this conversation with you. And then later on was just like, yeah, you're just weird. I thought you were insubordinate, but it just turns out once you worked for me directly underneath me, you're just weird. You're actually very driven and capable.
Yeah.
And that happened with the mayor. So when the then commissioner that hated me and wanted me fired was in charge, and then the next guy came in after him who was like hesitant about me, definitely not unsupportive, but not supportive. The mayor during that time hated me because I was bringing press, and he's like, why is this guy who works underneath me like making, why are news people talking to me about this officer?
Right.
What the
Can you imagine being in
people
his
who don't-
position?
Oh, yeah,
it would
I'd be-
piss me off every time someone asks me a question. Like, who is this random cop? Like, we can just delete this one number. I don't care about this guy's life.
When
like,
the
just-
narcissist is getting asked about somebody else.
Right. I mean, every single politician exists in that
For
world
people who
of
don't
like,
know, like municipal legal structure is the mayor is the boss.
yeah.
just-
and they can just reach down and be like,
Yeah, and the police commissioner works for the mayor, and all the police work for the commissioner, and so on and so forth.
Commissioner Gordon.
luckily we have a good union, so it's not like you can't just fire somebody because you don't like them.
Right.
But what I wish would happen is if I'm such a major thorn in your side, if anybody comes up and talks to me, they'll be like, I don't like that you're doing this and this is why. And then I can go, oh, sorry, I'm doing this for this reason.
Yeah.
What is a way that I can do this but that like won't bother you? Well, nobody f***ing talked to me. Nobody ever told me
So
like
that's-
here's the left and right limits.
That's just an expectation of reasonableness that I think a lot of times, especially in, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but in political environments, you don't get very forthrightly. Like you just,
There's a lot of talking around
Yeah.
something and not a lot of direct action.
right.
So that's
So when you come at people with just the frankness of just saying, well, this is why I did this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm trying to do. I mean, I assume that makes it a little bit easier
I
sometimes.
think it makes it like worse sometimes. I think the way you climb through political stuff within like fire, police jobs, or like inside the actual politics world is like you have no opinions about anything. If you're the one guy that's like frank and kind of to the point, like you're the scariest dude in the department. You've got to go.
Yeah.
Like you
then you're a
want
risk.
physically fit, intelligent cops. You're the problem.
yeah.
You're a risk to people who don't want to
Right.
do anything except for climb the power ladder.
Yeah.
Let me finish this story because I forgot that there's a funny ending to it. That not just a happy ending, but there's a funny additional part. So the mayor didn't like me. he said so to a couple people, and like one of them I happen to know was like, what's up with you and Officer High, and he was just like, I do not like him, like straight up verbatim. I do not like Officer Richard High.
Autistic, stupid bully.
I liked him as the mayor. He didn't like me because I was a headache. But then things changed.
Yeah.
We had a socialist run for the Democratic seat and then beat him.
Right.
So that was the primaries. So now for the general election, she was the only person on the ticket. The other parties didn't put anybody else up. So he had a write-in campaign, which he won. It's like the second time in U.S. history that a mayor has won a write-in campaign for like a major city.
Wow. That's an interesting.
So yeah, everybody, dude, the department was freaked out because this person was all like, was BLM, socialist, AOC backing her up, defund the police, everything. And an idiot. And she's dirty. We arrested her boyfriend in her car. Idiot Walton, you piece of shit. Anyway.
Thank God she's not your boss.
Dumb bitch. So he's running against her. And we had like a get together for a buddy's bachelor party. And the mayor showed up because it was, a bunch of it's a copper event. The cops get a bachelor party to like, get funds for the wedding and such. And I go up to him and I'm like, Mr. Mayor, Rich High, I just want to let you know that I support you. My friend over here supports you. He was involved in a shooting, so he was trying to get promoted and like grease the wheels too and be like, hi, I'm controversial because I killed a guy that tried to kill my partner, and during 2020s, that's not a great look.
I was doing a cop thing.
Yeah. I
People
was,
don't like that anymore.
I shot a guy that shot my friend in the head and, in the ear.
He's the bad guy.
He was Trump before Trump was Trump.
Yeah.
So my buddy got shot in the ear and my buddy returned fire and then killed the guy. Right. But obviously political atmosphere at the time, nobody wanted to see anybody, cops, do their job or defend themselves. So I'm like, hey, him and we are in support and behind you 100%. We're doing fundraising and we're doing door-to-door knocks, and we really look forward to see you, maintaining your mayorship this upcoming election. Yeah. And he was like, thank you. 2 weeks before the general election, somebody sends me a video of this dumb broad, India Walton, at a Democratic Socialist event where she's giving she's being like interviewed, and they ask her like, what's the first thing that you would do as the mayor of Buffalo? And she goes, the first thing I would do as the mayor of the city of Buffalo is I would fire police officer Richard High. And I'm just like, the worst thing you can do to a man like me
is pick a fight.
No. Well, that partially yes.
Give me a platform.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Is let me know that I'm 100% right.
Yeah.
Never let me know I'm 100% right, because that means there's no limits. I'm 100% right. Everything I can do is great.
Sky's the limit.
I'm anointed by God.
Do not come.
I'm going to come.
So I see this and I'm like, one, what a great win, because if she fires me, that's a wrongful termination suit all day long.
I could buy like 10 crack houses.
Do you know how many crack houses?
Like a crack house slumlord.
You can buy half the city.
Be a crack block. So I'm like, this is great. And then the other thing too is I'm obviously in social media. I know what to do. I've been in the Army. I was civil affairs and psychological operations. Yeah. I can make a campaign about just this video. Yeah. So I did. Gloves off. And memes out the ass, sending them.
Oh, I saw that video.
And then I made the video of her up like on the news, prim and proper. Hi, I'm India Walton, and I just want to say I am not going to be firing or decreasing the funding of for the Buffalo Police Department. Hard cut. The first thing I do as mayor is fire Richard High from Buffalo Police Department. And I put in the Curb Your Enthusiasm song. And I knew that if I put my name on it or if I posted it, that could, not that it would go off, because maybe, but I knew that her political opponents, if they reposted it with my name on it, it would kind of tentatively be like, I support Richard High. Yeah, sure. Which is, I'm still a little controversial because I do funny videos. Right. So I intentionally didn't put my name on it.
So you made a burner account?
No, I just sent it out the old way, just word of mouth. Just texted it to a whole bunch of people who I know other people who I know would send it to those people. And what do you know? City council members are reposting it on Facebook, and it's it's everywhere. And it took the legs right out of her campaign.
More.
So she lost by 2/3 of the vote to a write-in campaign.
That's wild.
She got 33% of the vote as a just fill in a dot with her name.
Yeah.
And 2/3 of the vote went to, I need to write down this guy's name in the fill in a blank box. Fucking tanked it.
Dunked.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a dunk.
Yeah.
That's a dunk. You know how hard it is to remember somebody's name?
So that's
you know what I
why.
mean? Like,
That's why. So for us, I think making videos and knowing what to say and how to make them, all that stuff comes kind of secondhand nature now. Like you're so used to it. You've made so many videos at a certain point. You just kind of understand how it works. I think the people who have never made them, it's terrifying because they don't know what makes something popular. They don't know what makes something go viral. They don't know what makes something important. They don't know what makes something useful to an audience. And I think using that to protect yourself is actually the best. Like that's the best play, man. I mean, from your position, how else would you do it?
Hey, I wouldn't say that was really protecting myself. I think I went on the offensive on that
yeah.
one.
Well, yeah,
she just gave you the permission and you were like, done.
Yeah. I was like, and behold, it was like one of those moments in like a movie where the main character just like has that like bolt of lighting where she's like,
Yeah.
The skies
like
part.
he knows what he's supposed to do, or like that end
beginning
moment.
of the third act.
Yeah, the beginning of the third act, he's just like, I know the calling is there.
It's super smart how you played it too. Just like hand to mouth distribution. Like that was super smart.
It's an
Flyers,
interesting
brother.
anecdote
Yeah.
to think about how if you didn't have an online presence, they probably would have done something shady at this point to bury you somehow or to try to get rid of you somehow, and you wouldn't have had the same ability to sort of go on the offensive or protect yourself. And it's interesting that that's just kind of the world we live in now. I think that's a huge anecdote of just how social media has changed the landscape for people, because you have this whole new medium that people are utilizing that a lot of people in traditional politics don't necessarily understand or know how to implement. They're obviously getting better at it.
You can see it like in the DNC party on like a major federal political level. Like they don't understand. They're all trying to lean into like TikTok and stuff, but they're all 97 years old and then like do
I'm
the same
talking about-
script
yeah.
and like none of them understand how this works.
I thought that the Choose Your Fighter video was fantastic.
Oh, it was so bad.
It went viral. I think
like-
that's what they wanted. They wanted it to go viral, and it did.
All press is good press, right?
That's right.
That saying is dead if I've ever heard it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. All press is good press. Not anymore, man.
Kind of what you're
Not
saying there, like
anymore.
that's what happened with me at the fire department. I didn't have like an avenue to kind of push back, and they were able to just kind of like write a new perspective of who
That's
I was
what I'm
and bury me
saying.
in a
And
corner.
I know
like,
what you're saying. Like, it sounded like you were saying, like, you know, maybe there's pushback on what I just said. But what I'm saying is, like, for the everyday person in that scenario, you don't have that.
there wasn't anything I could do.
Yeah, they
I
can
had a
write the
coworker.
rules on.
I had a
on how
coworker
you-
at work and another one call me at home and say that they wanted to shoot me in the face over because I didn't want to get the shot.
I'm right here.
Yeah, and
Just saying that.
then somehow like for both of those interactions, I was the one that was in trouble in the HR meetings. It was mind-boggling. But they could just sit me in a corner and there wasn't anything I could do. Like having that presence, like it's honestly it's absolutely incredible that you were able to tank her during 2022. Because like she would that was a win.
I want to say I think it was his previous election. So I think it was like
22.
22. I think it was like 2022. So it was like defund the police movement was still very, very alive.
So hot.
Yeah,
It was kind of coming down, right? Because then because crime
leading
spiked.
up to the midterm, though, it was still a big deal.
Yeah. So it was starting, it hit his crescendo. It was starting to come down, and people were starting to distance themselves a little bit from it because they wanted to get the more moderates in the middle. But yeah, that was it. We were ready to go. I met a guy at a bar because I was watching the election results come in.
Yeah.
And I had a friend, and I went to go to a bar to watch it, and another buddy came over, and I was like, oh, dude, what's going on? I haven't seen you for a minute. He's like, hey, what's going on? He's like, listen, I know that you don't want India Walton to win. You know, you're a Buffalo police officer, and she said those things about you, and, you know, you're my friend, and I love you. But I just think that she's going to be putting the city in a better direction. So, you know, I campaigned for her, and I voted for her. And I was like, all right.
You're confused. But
Yeah. I
at
was
least
like,
you're honest.
Yeah, I was like, hey, man, that's, you know, in my head, I was like, that's really f***ing shitty.
Yeah.
Like, that makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Right.
Still a great guy, you know, just, I think he made people make wrong decisions sometimes.
No.
It's like a crazy shift that happened in politics though. Like if you think back, like when we were kids, like in the 90s,
Are we drinking to this?
like you could be friends with people that were across the aisle, and now it's like across the aisle. And it's like, you know, it's involved with little kids and stuff. It's not even a political thing.
And now for the next bit.
I'm glad I could get to be a part of that.
You can sit the over there. You don't have to stay over here.
First of all, I'm not afraid of you. Don't act all tough on your show.
Yeah, so on the sergeants. Let's talk about
Listen here, crack ferret.
I need
Ferret.
Yeah, Brandon called us crack ferrets last episode.
I think that could be a fantastic new racial slur for whites.
Yes.
Who owns ferrets? Whites.
Whites.
Only the whites.
That's true.
That's
I've never seen any other ethnicity.
Maybe a nerdy like
Jennifer Aniston.
minority,
Asian?
like a way out there, like on the fringe, like you know
It's a European thing.
It's like trashy white girls that live in trailers. Yeah. And they have ferrets, and you go over to their house, and you're like, I regret this immediately.
like everything
It
smells like
terrible.
cat piss.
Yeah, why does it smell?
Yeah, why do you have this thing?
No, they're very clean if you do this.
No, they bite you and they're
not.
mean. Like,
You have a weasel, madam. Why would you bring a weasel in your home? Oh my God, crack weasels is the new slur for whites.
Yeah, crack weasel, crack ferret. It's golden.
Brandon Herrera said that?
yeah.
I cannot wait to use that later. Look at all these crack ferrets.
You're gonna use that later today on
So I got to bring that up in court. What did you mean by crack ferrets?
I meant disgusting whites. And I can say that.
one.
I meant
I am a
disgusting.
disgusting one.
I meant the disgusting, despicable Southern white.
I want to do that. I want to be on the stand and I want to start like saying racial slurs for whites.
White, yeah.
Just so that I can save up and like maybe get an N-bomb. You know?
Like if you put
build
enough
up
in
all
the
the
piggy
credit.
bank,
Gotta
you
build
get
it
a
up.
free one.
Yep. You know, it's fun saying the N-word when you're on the stand.
all chips in.
Yeah, when you're on the stand and it's like, what did he say to you? I'm like, well, he said, you're not going to get me. But then I got him, you know? And so it's always kind of interesting when they're like, and officer, what did they make any statements or say anything to you? Like, yes, they did. And you're just like, oh, this is one of the few moments where I'm allowed to do this. Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. And they're like, and what did he say? Well, Your Honor, he said, you're not going to get me.
Right.
And
Now, do you have to use soft A if they use soft A?
Well, it's,
or hard R if they use hard R?
so it's
and they just
verbatim.
do
I'm saying
verbatim.
exactly what they said. So
it.
I have to say what
you
they
gotta
said.
do it.
Proper King's English.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be.
I mean, they're all kings and queens.
That's how you do documentation in the fire department.
I mean,
It's like
you
proper
swear an
Did
oath.
you get
when
that
you're on
joke?
We was carrying.
You swear an oath when you're on the stand. You got to tell the truth. You got to.
Yeah, you have to tell the truth.
Got to.
Gotta tell the truth.
Say it how it was said.
We was kings.
We was kings.
So how do you balance all this?
We
with,
was Shakespeare.
How do you balance all this with the drill sergeant stuff?
Oh,
Pretty easy or
depression.
So it is trauma. I knew it was trauma. Damn it. I knew it. It's in my notes.
You know what's funny is I actually I've been overstressed at work. Not from like the like
Too high strung.
it's not like the
Too
workload,
strong, my beautiful bird.
right? And it's not like the workload is like I'm not seeing like dead kids or anything like that. It's not what I deal with. It's just like the interviews are very long.
Yeah.
And I have to be like it's active listening, right? And it's very mentally draining to one listen to somebody and then let them talk, get everything out, and then also guide them to try and get additional information.
Right.
You're very focused, so it's very draining. And so I actually had to start getting counseling again. So I used to get it for PTSD years ago. Deployments, we know.
Gay.
Not these communists.
This is when we do our BetterHelp plug.
Right? Enjoy the free ride of freedom.
I ran track at Notre Dame.
Oh yeah. Well, it'll happen.
So-
It'll be in the after show, everyone.
Jake doesn't like being painted out to be like a northeastern wealthy kid,
Because I'm not.
but he grew up skiing and ran track at Notre Dame.
Cross
oh,
country.
he was skiing.
Yeah.
My parents came from an iron ore mining community, and they sacrificed everything to give me that.
My brain didn't hear ore mining; it heard whore mining, and I just pictured a whole bunch of like buns and tits trapped in coal.
My father was a very industrious horror miner.
We were right alongside while they built the railroads. We were right there while they were doing it.
Do you know how much we profited?
We would make Chinese horrors like they were stamping pennies.
Just like pulling them out of the dirt like they're orcs. You know what I mean?
Thank God.
Entire episode is just going to be a Pepperbox exclusive. This can't live anywhere.
Now you go.
They put
Who do you praise your allegiance?
They put the white hand on them and be like, you're owned by the crack ferrets. Which is historically accurate because
Can you imagine getting branded with a crack ferret?
Right on the chest.
Is it a weasel? Is it a... What is it?
10 years later, it's all fake.
You're trying to identify gangland tattoos and it's a ferret.
Is that a honey badger? What is that? I just picture your dad coming home and the domestics being like a little different.
Yeah.
You know? I got 3 whores today. Do you know how hard it is? Whoring for Orin, Orin for Horin. It was a slow day. We lost 3 men when 5 dozen whores.
Had AIDS.
AIDS broke out.
I need to do that.
Drill
also.
sergeants. Why are there so many sergeants? Can we just ask an honest
this is
question?
something they don't understand.
Why the hell are there so many sergeants? Why don't they just add to the ranks? There's a sergeant for everything. There's a sergeant's major. There's a sergeant below that. There's a staff sergeant below that. There's then a sergeant below that. Why are they all sergeants?
I don't know. Why is there a CFO? Why is there a CEO? Why is there a C3PO?
You know what?
Like
Honestly,
what?
Yeah.
That makes way more
I
sense.
agree. The corporate
honest
structure.
question.
The corporate structure is built off of the military structure, and it confuses me far more than
I just assumed ignorantly that you would go from sergeant to like what
Officer?
lieutenant.
Yeah, this isn't Call of Duty.
My entire
throw 'em in
life
the
is a
trash.
lie?
It's and officers are administration.
Harsh take.
Officers are administration.
Okay.
So when it's an officer rank, you think of admin. And then when it's enlisted rank, sergeants,
that,
the
but
different levels of sergeants. You get it. You just asked a question
Sorry.
about not getting it.
I didn't get it.
You know what? These Harvard-educated Watts.
like the Watts.
The Southern
Northeastern Watts just
fucking-
don't understand.
Don't shit on us crack weasels because we grew up poor in whore mining.
The first thing.
Just because I worked in your father's home mine.
Explain to him that you're never in charge of more than 4 people, but you can also be in charge of 47,000 people.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like you're in charge of things, but
That's why I don't get it.
you're in charge of things, but you're not really responsible for them.
The officer corps exists because they need someone to like hang a hat on. So you have someone that'll sign a signature block, and if this goes south, it's that guy's problem. And the NCO ranks execute that guy's idea.
Why did they build a firewall between those two?
Because they
Aristocracy,
yeah.
because the wealthy were usually
Is that
put in.
why?
Yeah.
The wealthy were usually made into officers because they were the educated class.
Yeah.
And then the less wealthy, the poors, the
Crack weasels?
crack weasels,
I didn't know where we were going with
They're
that.
right
I
there.
don't know how.
Yep. You knew. I led you there, baby bird. They're real. And so the lower class, the uneducated, would start off as enlisted, and then if they proved themselves, not only would they raise up in rank, and be in charge of the other dirty enlisted men, but they could potentially transfer over and be a Mustang and go into the officer corps.
Right.
They were still looked down on because they were Mustangs. They went from enlisted to officer,
Yeah.
but it was one of the few ways that the poor could go up into the upper class.
Elevate themselves in life.
It's still such a thing now, though.
But even in
still such a
today's
divide.
military,
Yeah.
if I'm like the platoon sergeant and I go out like drinking at the bar with like some of the LTs, it's still kind of a no-no. Because the enlisted aren't supposed to like fraternize with the well, I guess the other way, the commission aren't supposed to fraternize with the enlisted.
Yeah, but
we're like the dirty
wouldn't it be
unwashed.
better if we went more to a meritocracy, just as a concept?
It like destroys it. I don't know. It like destroys like what it is though. 'Cause,
Too
like,
much brain, so Watson.
They just live in their own world. They every job they have is 18 months long.
This is
it's all political.
coming from a complete place of ignorance.
yeah. They
too,
live
by
they
the
live
way.
in their own.
Oh, we know.
You'll have NCOs that'll be in a unit or a platoon for 10 years. They'll just get like stuck there, and like that's their home. They've raised all these privates. They've built all these other NCOs. Like
I see.
they are a master of their task and their job. And you have this brand new 22-year-old fresh out of college lieutenant that comes in and like
Why not just make that guy who's been there, who's doing the thing, just make him a lieutenant?
No,
because he's
no.
the dirty unwashed.
No.
It's literally that simple.
There's more to it than just the dirty unwashed too. Like
'Cause he
you
went
need
Hoggin.
to have you need to have the two.
The officers don't go hogging.
And
suck.
but some of them marry the hogs. I feel like you need to have the two in order to have a good transition of power and authority.
because you've got one that's there the entire time that knows how it is.
Yeah.
And one that's coming in to assist and be responsible, but also has to be guided.
Yeah.
So it's a good relationship between non-commissioned officers and officers is that they work together and then they move forward and better their unit. A bad relationship between officers and NCOs is the officer thinking that they know everything and not taking in the wise wisdom, tradition, understanding of the job from the NCO.
Which is why you get locked down over because a lieutenant said something crazy and you go to a private and go,
Get it?
hey,
Hey.
get that
Right.
shit.
Okay. Okay.
Go
Yeah.
take those
No one's
knives
ever
and throw 'em
quite
to the creek.
explained it that way.
I don't think I did a really good job because my brain's kind of like going all over the place with different jokes at the moment, and I can't get over whore mining. So
Very industrious, okay?
Yes.
We would raise them out of the ore.
A very industrious people, young Jacob.
I think it's also, it's the same.
We've been whore mining for generations, and we are generations after us to
You're a
maintain
sixth generation ore
a
miner.
long
man.
lineage
Get
of
with it.
whore mining.
Act like one.
I just see them all like over like this well-lit table, you know, like with papers and stuff, and they're like, I think we need to invest in some of the darker whore mines. The Asian whore mines are really taking off right now.
said not to deal with them.
They have CNBC business on the TV. It's like charts of the whore mines.
They give me shit because I watch the markets.
Because he's one of the
That
sophisticated.
sounded
blacks.
south and racist. That sounded south and racist.
South and racist? That was Victorian, sir.
That's all.
I believe that we should be whore mining.
We have not discovered the greater whores down in the South Louisiana areas.
I say,
yes, sir.
We need to invest in some of these minority whore mines so we can expand the whole
Shipping them up from the Caribbean.
This is what Grandpa would have wanted.
Variety is the spice of life, son.
If you do not adapt, you die.
All right. Another question. In all these endeavors that you undertake, Rich,
Yes.
there's a little bit of what you do is turning, like, how did you phrase it in the questions? Like turning
Turning citizens, civilians.
civilians
into
into
soldiers.
soldiers. So turning, like, getting people to turn over to that next part of who they are and who you want them to be.
For what? For
Well, in one role, you're doing.
you
it as
gave me a very broad question.
Yeah,
I'm
go
asking
on.
you to narrow it down.
Yeah.
I'm getting what you're saying.
In one context, you're doing it as a drill sergeant.
Yep.
Right, and then in the other context, I'm sure there's like cops that are new or that are learning.
Yeah.
That are looking to come up to the detective level. Mm-hmm. So, you know, is there advice or other funny stories that you have in either of those contexts?
Oh yeah.
Kind of like, you know, place it for the viewer.
There's always funny stories. Would be
Life
the,
is a funny
the
story.
detective kind of mentorship
Yeah.
is that's kind of weird. That's not really like a mentorship. Really, it's just like people find people that are competent in the job or have experience, and
Yeah.
then they'll go to that person for advice
Yeah.
and guidance.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not exactly structured.
It's not.
Yeah.
So I'm very comfortable in myself, and I'll ask questions to like in my special victims unit when I first went there, and even now, my buddy is like the best at it. He's amazing at it, and he's eventually going to go to homicide because he's so good. So I've asked him tons of questions, and I pick his brain. And I don't want to say I'm the number 2 in the office,
Yeah.
but I'm up there as one of the better detectives that others will be like, what do you think, Rich? And
Yeah.
because I've asked and gathered my own experience, because I knew eventually that would fall in my lap.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that, you know, that I would have to learn it that way. The Army, however, is very different. You're just told, hey, this is what you're going to do now.
Right.
And if you don't,
You're gonna do PT.
yeah, you're going to do PT.
Right.
You're going to have a bad day.
Right.
You're going to have a real bad day.
I'm going to make your day bad.
Make a day bad. You made your day bad.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just enforcing your day.
You made the decision.
Yeah.
Right. You know, I'm chaotic neutral.
Right.
Okay. I'm just here for the shit show.
Right.
Now, is it going to be a big shit show or is it going to be a small shit show?
You decide.
You decide. It's choose your own adventure. I've said that in basic training before.
Yes,
I've said it's a choose your own adventure.
I was explaining to Nolan the other day the idea of like when you're in front of a formation and you give them the wrong, like you need them to go this way and you say like, you know, right face and they face the wrong way. That the way you fix them is say like as you were. Like I'm never wrong. It's your fault.
Yeah.
What were you doing?
My bad, your fault.
Yeah.
My bad, your fault.
My bad, your fault. Yeah. And even then, like that's an easy fix. Like, left face. Oh, about face.
You feel like such an idiot though.
Nah, you just do it so much. It just kind of
What was the first time that you were in front of a formation? Like I remember the first
As a
time
drill sergeant?
Yeah, like I remember the first time I had to stand like as a platoon sergeant. I think I was like a brand new staff sergeant. I had to do like the morning report to first sergeant, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's like terrifying thing of my life.
Yeah, I was bad at reporting. I don't know why. It's such an easy thing.
Right.
You know, first sergeant, 20 assigned, 19 present, 1 at sick call.
It's never
First
that easy.
sergeant. And then they're like, carry on. You're like, "Burp," and then, oh, that's something that I do.
It's like as soon as he looks at you and you're like, he goes third platoon, you're like, I forgot how many people I have. I forgot what my name is. I forgot everyone that's supposed to be doing something today.
My
Like,
boy,
I'm
you're
going to
straight
make
now.
something up and
You're
then
too
I'm just going to go with
hostile.
it because you don't know.
That's when you just go, all present or accounted for.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, all present or accounted for. And then you know the first sergeant's just like, this idiot
He
forgot.
doesn't know what he's
doesn't
doing.
He doesn't know anything.
And he just goes, all right.
Yeah, he makes it's like, you can see it because they'll go like, I'm gonna have to go talk to them
It's
later.
the disappointed parent, but they're trying
Yeah.
to save you.
It's when like everyone's gone and it's the new E5 that has to stand out front and he's just like all president accounted for, and the first sergeant's like, I know that you don't know where everyone is.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that you don't know what's going on today.
Yeah.
And it's funny because if like in a normal unit, I know in basic training when we'd have the privates do it, my favorite thing is to boo them. It's
You get everybody in on that?
Oh yeah, I'll boo privates, boo that man, boo. Oh, it's great. I got told one time I got told not to do it. I had an NCO come up to me. He's like, hey, you can't do that. I was like,
gonna
can't do
kill
what?
himself later.
He's like, you can't have the group boo him. I go, why?
can.
He's like, it's hazing because now you're having a group pick on him and you're making the group do it. I go, that's falling under hazing. He's like, that's gonna fall under hazing.
What are we doing if it's not hazing? But I thought that's what
You're
we were
training
doing.
people to kill people.
Here's the thing though.
This is why you guys send us dog shit. You know how many dudes I've had to kick out of the army in 90 days?
Do you think I
You know,
want?
how many f***ing EO investigations did you have?
Oh, a few.
Because I had like a gajillion.
On me, I had
Yeah,
a couple.
'cause you got-
this year I got
like
kicked
a-
off the trail because I had an EO
Did you?
investigation. Yep.
Okay, so it's not like a bad thing. You catch your drill sergeant orders and you're like "F- my life, and you got to go do this thing. And
Oh, I volunteered. I love it.
did you? Oh, fuck.
I've been a drill sergeant for 12 years. I'm still a drill sergeant.
Okay,
He
so
does it because he likes it.
I love it. It's great.
but you have a regular line guy that like has to leave the line, not do his job, go be a drill sergeant for a while, and he's like, I can't destroy my career here. So like, I'm
Yes.
gonna keep the waters right, and
Coast.
I'm gonna pump some shit out into the army. And then it's the regular staff sergeants in the army that are catching all this dog shit. I'm trying to get rid of this kid that can't read, can't write, probably shouldn't be in the army in the first place, doesn't understand his job, and then I'm getting EO investigated over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like he should have been the Marines.
Guys, make my f***ing life
Can't
hard.
read, can't write.
You're not going to
that's-
win
first
that
of all,
sympathy
sergeants-
case with him.
first of all-
that's happened to him 1,000 times.
No, I like I don't know, like 12 EO investigations in like 2 years, and was finally just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah. So when I said that the guy was like, hey, you can't make everybody boo them. That's considered hazing. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. And then I still did it.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, because
Isn't that what we're
because
doing?
that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, so I've been doing it for 12 years. And I went down this year on the trail, and the drill sergeants were a lot of them were new in this active component company. And there was a lot of them. They had like 12 drill sergeants. I was like, holy shit, man, that's a lot. And then they had me and a couple other people from the reserves come in and assist them for this rotation. And a lot of them were afraid to like yell and do stuff. And I'm like, I'm gonna do what I've done for the past 12 years, which is I'm gonna hold the standard, and I'm gonna get in trouble a little bit because I might have yelled too much. But okay,
I've had my ass chewed before.
my favorite,
right?
Somebody said this the other day. Oh, yeah, it was Nick. And I'm stealing Nick's line. He's like, I don't get in trouble. The last time I got in trouble was when I was 10 and my parents told me
Right,
you were in
yeah,
trouble.
but yeah.
I'm a man.
Yeah.
And if you say I did something wrong, then we'll address it.
Yeah.
And every time that they've said, we think you've done something wrong, well, then we've addressed it.
Right.
And guess who wasn't wrong? This guy. So when I go down to basic training land and I hear, active guys be like, you're giving us shit. I'm like, that's your active component giving you shit. The reserves go down there and shit up for
How
3
much shit
weeks.
do you get as a reserve coming in that capacity? Because like I know like when we would get reserve, like we used to get reserves assigned to us to do like field trainings.
Mm-hmm.
Like you do your like 30-day rotation. We treated our reserves like the Afghans.
Yeah.
Like, they were
Listen,
terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
the cool thing about being a reserve drill sergeant is the the drill sergeant job doesn't change. There'll be small changes here and there,
Sure.
but it's being a drill sergeant and the things that we train and teach and how we do it
It's the same shit.
very much stayed the same over the past decade that I've been a drill sergeant. So really you go down there, you see your active component, and the first day or two is them determining whether or not you're capable or you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Right? And it happens fairly quickly. Can you march them? Do you know what you're doing? Are you confident and competent?
Honestly, if you've done it for 12 years, you're probably more afraid of the active than.
Oh, I'm not afraid of anybody.
No, I'm saying
I don't
like
give a
you're
shit.
probably more worried that the active guys suck.
Which,
Like,
yes, I went down there
because the standards have just gone.
well, and they're afraid to do their job because once again, they don't want their careers.
Yeah, because you'll end up like me on YouTube.
Yep. So, like
Hell
us,
yeah, brother.
Dude, you don't know.
the senior drill sergeant of the company that I went down to, I'm a staff sergeant. He's a sergeant of first class. Was like, you were my drill sergeant 10 years ago, and I was like,
Yeah, I like it.
no shit. Was I? He's like, yes. I'm like, oh, you outrank me. That's cool. All right.
Yeah.
Do you need help with this? Because I can do this, obviously. He's like, yeah, man, do your thing. I trust you. If I got to pull you aside, like, I will. I was like, that's fine. Tell me if I go
I
too
would have
far.
looked at him and been
I
like,
met somebody who had been either trained by you or was they knew who you were, and not because you were on YouTube, but because of that whole system.
have you done the math on it?
Yeah.
What's that?
12 years, you're doing what, like 130 people a cycle? Something like that?
So the companies will go between like 140 to like 180, sometimes 190.
Christ.
So I'm only there for like 3-4 weeks for the most part. And I've only do red and white phase. So it's pickup days
you just have the
and
fun.
ranges. That's all I do. There's-
Oh, so you get to like trash them all and then you leave before they go qualify.
well, I
So
built
you
them.
stress them all out and then
Hold on.
this is a key component of basic
trashing
training.
them.
He
That's-
builds them.
The
from
drill sergeants get
soft clay.
real nice like a week, 2 weeks before you go to the first qualifying range where you get live ammo for the first time.
That doesn't happen. Let a bitch through the rifle in my direction.
Well, ours got real nice.
No,
Real nice like a week out from qual range. They're like,
mean-
all right. You guys are going to have ammo.
not me. No, there's no showing
I
weakness.
love it.
How dare they?
You got 45 on the hip.
But so I've done that, and for like a lot of it, when I was in a recruiting unit as a drill sergeant for the pre-basic program to prep the troops before they would go to basic, and it decreased failures by like from 18% to like 5.
Really?
So they had like 18% would fail out and come back, and then I showed up, and there was another drill sergeant that was assisting me for New York Army National Guard, and they're recruiting, and their pipeline losses is what they call it went down to like 5%.
Really?
So it was effective, but to go off your numbers game there, like there are probably a couple thousand troops that I've been directly in charge of in basic training.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're not going to find them. The funny things are, one time I had a troop and he went through basic training and I was his drill sergeant for a portion of it. And I was doing, the funny videos at the same time. And shortly thereafter, I forget when he graduated, there was a photo online of a young soldier with his beret on at his graduation ceremony with his girlfriend taking a photo, and his beret looks like a chef's hat.
Yep.
It's so fucked up. It looks like the guy from
It's like the flash is like full center and just like
That was your training.
he looked like the guy that has that box haircut from House Party. That's what it looked like.
he's back home in Alabama with his grandma.
And he like looked familiar, and I'm like, that kid looks familiar. So I made a video tearing it apart. Like, look at this f***ing chef's hat guy. Like, what the f*** is wrong with you? Turns out he was one of my troops.
Nice.
And then later
Oh, so
on,
it was your fault.
first of all, that's graduation day. He's on his own.
Okay.
Baby bird got to fly on his own, buddy. That baby bird fell. So wings weren't developed.
That one got eaten by a raccoon.
Well, whose responsibility was it to develop the wings?
Hey, man, him. Nutrition. I fed him. I watered him. I made him grow. It's his fault. He doesn't want to follow directions.
That's fine.
So, I just NCO square away. So then he responds to that video that I made, and he's just like, even when it was something to the effect of like, my drill sergeant made fun of me in basic training and then found me after basic training and made fun of me and made it go viral. So not only did he find me and crack me up and f me up in basic training, but now I'm the laughing stock in the internet because of my beret. And I was like,
Well,
good to see you. Good to see you're doing well,
I
kid.
bet you that dude has the best beret in the military.
Yeah, he
now,
knows
though.
how to do it now.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
After that video, he was like, I got to figure this out.
Oh, no, he himself. Yeah.
Seriously, if you're having trouble, call the helpline.
Do you like that switcheroo? You doing good? All right.
So, Rich,
Huh?
hi.
Shoot, let's have a moment where we drink because they're
You guys.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite thing of being an NCO is like, I'm just the consequences of your actions. That's like my favorite thing is like explaining to a private, like, I didn't bring this to you. I didn't wake up today and come to work like wanting to do this to you. I'm just the consequences of your own actions. Like,
Oh, then that's where we're different because I'm absolutely like, you're gonna get it today. The hate that I had from yesterday is now overflown. My cup overfloweth with hate.
my bitch ex-wife.
Oh no, I don't take my life problems out on them. Their life problems just, it's like laundry day, right? Sometimes you've got a little less laundry to do.
Sometimes
and so
you have
it's
more.
a quick and easy laundry day. And some days you've got a big pile of it. And you start it one day, but there's still laundry left over for the next day.
Damn it.
And that's them. They make their actions carry over. And
It's
I go,
like vacation days.
yeah.
Okay, I gotta ask this because like there is an art.
Yeah.
There is an art to like
True.
smoking Joes and like breaking people.
Yeah.
Physical or psychological? What's your favorite? Because I always leaned psychological. There's always a physical component, but good psychological, like
Physical is good for learning.
right.
Physical is good for learning. Hey, let's get in the push-up position. I'm going to talk to you about what you did today, and we're going to work our way through this.
You'll hear me because you're stressed.
Yes. Do you see how? And I'll talk to that.
Yeah, like that.
I'm like, do you see how uncomfortable this is? And then the psychological part comes in. I'd be like, do you see how you can focus on what's sore right now? Is it your pec? I bet it wasn't sore until I told you it's really tight right now, isn't it? Are you beginning to shake? That's muscle fatigue. And they're like, oh my God, this is lasting forever. And I'm condescending when I say it, But I will say that if I'm trying to, like my goal isn't to break somebody mentally because it's fun. My goal is to break the bad mental cycle that they're in, so then that cycle stops and we can move on and do better, right?
Yeah. It's you're trying to build someone, and the only way to do that is to shave off all the little jagged edges that don't work well.
Or you got to break through that wall of retardation, and sometimes there's a little bit of shock value in there, or you've got to use some shock value. So yeah, there are some kids that didn't buy into the system until I went hard.
Yeah.
And played a little bit of mind games to show them that daddy's in charge. And then they were like, I'm going to be a good soldier. And they were fucking stellar. One of the things that I did, this is one of my favorite stories to tell. I didn't keep them up all night. They kept themselves up all night.
Right.
So it was the first, right? It was their decision. They
Staff
decided.
Sergeant, I accidentally did cocaine. What do I do?
Hey, don't jump in front of me.
We have a bunch of these to ask you about. But like,
We had we had the first overnight field training, which is, it's literally just that. It's overnight. They march out in the morning. They dig their foxholes. Or their fighting positions. You will do a little bit of like mission planning stuff. You teach them about security and how to provide security for their fire base that they've made.
Yeah.
And then, they spend the night there. They have their little sleepover, and one drill sergeant will usually stay, let the other drill sergeants go home and sleep, and they'll stay up the entire night and babysit them, right? But during this time, the privates are supposed to focus on security. Hey, have a rotation of guys set up. I want this percentage of people awake, this percentage of people asleep. You need to have so many spots, where people are awake and alert. You need to have a roving patrol. We've taught you this, do it. I'm here to make sure that they do it. Mm-hmm. I had a specialist with me who I made them call drill specialist and stand at parade rest for him because he was a real soldier that had a combat tour.
Yep.
And
that's a real boy.
And he's a real boy. He's a real soldier.
Come to my unit as an E5 with no patch and watch the E4 talk to you and afraid shit with no patch.
No, yeah.
There's real boys and there's not. Sorry.
Sometimes it happens. So I had him low crawl and he stole a squad automatic weapon, which is a big deal. That's bigger than the other weapons, and therefore needs more protection and focus. So he stole that.
Yeah.
And
Your combat guy.
How many people were asleep to allow that to happen?
almost all of them. So they all, this was the issue. They all kept falling asleep and not providing the right amount of security. And that was one of the straws that broke my back. There was another time where I was walking around and I took my drill sergeant hat off. And it's
And now
dark.
you're a normal person.
Yeah, and I'm just like, hey guys, you gotta stay awake. Drill sergeant's getting really mad. You gotta stay awake. Oh, okay, thanks, buddy. Okay. Hey, you gotta stay awake. Hey, you gotta stay awake. Dude, shut the up. Get the away from me. What the did you just say? Oh,
Did you touch me?
dude. So I scared the shit out of the wicked. I'm like, hey, you gotta be awake. He's like, shut the up. And I was like, who the are you talking to? And he was just like, oh,
I immediately realized the mistake that I have made.
he didn't see, like, it was so dark. He didn't know who it was. But I remember his words were just shattering. He's like, oh, no. It was, he just said, oh, no. And I was like, formation, everybody, go. And
It's the guy next to that guy that's like,
what the
why, Brian?
dude?
Yeah.
Why?
He just, even if
Hey, man.
it wasn't the drill sergeant, like, he just told you to wake up. Like,
Yeah.
what the
What's wrong with you?
Hey, Brian, we really need to get your attitude in check.
The group, there's nothing like group punishment. Nothing like it. Because the whole group is just looking a hole in that guy while they're doing power jumps.
That's what I would do in when I was teaching martial arts. Yeah.
Why do you suck?
Everyone.
Yeah.
suck.
Oh, the best is when the guy that fucks up, you make him stand over here and look at the group.
Never
And
done that
they
before.
all do.
Love that.
They all do the.
They're all
PT,
doing exercises
and
while you
you're
just stands
standing
there. Since you're tired, lay on the ground.
Yeah.
No, I don't do that. I have them do the exercise, but then I call them out specifically for doing bad jobs and see, like, I'm like, this is why we're all here. Why can't you do it right? Everybody, we'd all be done here, but Jerry doesn't want to do it. Let's do it again. Either way, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I
Keep doing this forever.
yeah, I keep waking these dummies up. Good kill.
Hell yeah.
I keep waking these dummies up throughout the night because they keep falling asleep and they're not doing security like they're supposed to, which ends up being like all night. And you're not supposed to do sleep deprivation techniques.
It's not sleep deprivation.
It's you get 4 hours and they don't have to be
It's
congruent.
proper training.
So
Tell that to Adam Knowles in Somalia.
just wait. So while they're in formation, I'm just like talking to them like, oh, we don't know how to fall asleep or we don't know how to stay awake. That's an issue, you know? Maybe we need to stay awake. White flashlight, blinding their night vision. Every 5 minutes. So listen, we're going to do this.
That's the psychological component. That's what I'm talking about.
So the end of their thing, it's done. It's the morning. Nobody's gotten any sleep. I haven't gotten any sleep. Well, some of them gotten some sleep, and that's why they're getting in trouble. You know, because some of them are falling asleep when they're not supposed to. So some of them are getting some sleep.
Yeah.
And my replacement the drill sergeants all come in for my platoon and my company, and they're like, "Hi, you're good to go. You know, go to the barracks, get some sleep. We'll see you tomorrow." And
I'm not
"Cool."
going anywhere.
No, I was good. I was tired. And I go, and they were like, all right, Pride, grab your shit. Let's go out of here. And I'm getting to my truck. And one of the drill sergeants is like, hi. I'm like, oh, what's up? What's up, Joe? What's up? He's like, what the did you do to those kids? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I had 3 privates falling over themselves just walking, trying to get just walking because they're falling asleep. And one of them comes up to me and says, Drill Sergeant, I have a question, Drill Sergeant. He's like, what, Private? What do you want? He's like, Drill Sergeant, I'm seeing things that aren't there. He's like, what, Private? He's like, Drill Sergeant, I'm like seeing shadows and and things that aren't there. And
You look him dead in the eyes and go, get used to it.
and he's like, and I don't know what to do. And he's like, yeah, Private, it's called sleep deprivation. You're tired. Like, that's gonna happen. Fucking keep walking.
Get used to it.
Go. He's like, so then I came up here to be like, what the did you do to them? Because they're seeing shit that's not there. And I'm like, I kept them up all night, and I kept them in a position of attention and parade rest for 5 minutes each. And then I night blinded them, and I talked shit to them for 3 hours. He's like, dude, they're fucked up. I was like, sweet, they'll sleep well tonight.
This is going to be the best night's sleep they've ever had in their entire life.
The best lessons in life are learned hard. We were talking about having a segment on the show that was called Make Hazing Great Again, because like the only way to really appreciate something in life is to have earned it.
Yes.
And that's like what hazing is it's just like a
Hazing
it's
isn't
very
supposed to be a
intentional
broom
thing.
handle in somebody's ass.
No, I was explaining that to them.
It's supposed to be like
an
that
intentional
Why are
thing
you
that's
saying
done.
that I think hazing is a broom handle?
Because there was a thing that the 82nd was actually doing.
Yeah.
But I love how you just say like, yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
Oh, they shouldn't have. Like, that's not.
you know,
isn't hazing? Let's just put that down.
Good hazing is like a very intentional thing that's done from like a position
Writing
of
that
love. Like I'm going to do these things to you here in this safe environment, and I'm going to make sure that you're taken care of on the back end of it with like some aftercare, because when we actually go to do this together, I need you to be functional and I need you to be the best that you can be, because like my life depends on your life also.
Yes.
Like there's love in the hazing.
Yeah.
And it's across all jobs, like even
That
blue
just
collar,
seems like proper training.
it is.
prepare
But like
for-
somehow you get the
People
HR
abuse
politics
it,
into it.
and then everybody gets afraid that it's going to be abused again.
Well, it's because
So
you
they
get
say,
the hazy guy.
yeah, you get
Yeah.
the broom handle guys in the
Yeah.
80-second.
He's like,
80-second.
so what if we put a broom handle in his ass?
Yeah, 80-second guys.
I don't understand how that even gets that far. Like, how does not everybody in
did
like the
that for, like,
platoon
10 years.
go and be like, you want to do what, Jeremy? Well, I want to stick a broom handle in his ass. You need to go get some f***ing help. You don't need to be here
you know
anymore.
that wasn't
Jeremy,
like,
no!
that wasn't just like a platoon
Jeremy,
thing.
put the broom handle down, Jeremy.
God damn it, Jeremy!
We're not in the whore mines.
Jeremy, put the broom handle down.
You f***ing chronic weasel. We're not people.
Back to the whore mind. You know that wasn't like a platoon thing? Like that was like a widespread thing in the 82nd. It was like an accepted, like when I got to Germany, it was a big thing to have to eat a bunch of cream corn in like the middle of the night. It was like a common thing.
And then throw up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would like make you chug cream corn and then answer questions while you did like power jumps in the laundry room.
Hell
and throw
yeah,
up,
dude.
And then fist fight each other.
We did that at not cream corn, but we would make. I was in a. This is gonna.
We would drink
You
so
were in a
much
fraternity, weren't you?
You're gonna f***ing make fun of me. I don't
Yeah.
care. I don't care.
Hey, it doesn't matter. We're just going to make fun of you.
This is gonna be like the episode with you and Nick and Ethan on Kind of Consensual, where you just made fun of Ethan the whole
It
time.
was so easy. Listen, he's my friend, but like, don't tee it up for me and then expect me not to take it.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Hey, Rich, do you want a blowjob? The answer is always yes.
Right. So I was in a wing eating club in college.
Okay.
Okay.
The intern laughed.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting laughed at by my intern.
Wow, what a rough.
Right,
it was
rough group.
I see Drill Sergeant High just
So Notre
Getting up
Dame,
there. He's getting
Notre Dame
ready.
didn't have a fraternity system, but we had dormitories where you would stay until you were a senior, and so they kind of developed like a Greek style system because of that.
Like
And one of the things that was like a subgroup within the dorm that I was in was this wing eating group, where we would literally every Wednesday we would go to this hall and we'd sit at this big oak table, and we had all these chants that we would do on the way there. And in order to be like hazed into the group as a newbie, eventually we would take you and we would make you chug a 2-liter bottle of Mountain Dew until you threw up.
Yep.
And then, yeah, that was basically it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It sounds like a Mormon bachelor party.
We got together and we chanted and drank Mountain Dew.
We had caffeinated
When we were done, we
beverages.
played Xbox LAN parties. Halo.
Yeah, we didn't go
Jacob
kill people
swore.
afterwards, okay? I'm sorry.
This was back when Vault still existed too.
and my best friend Philip helped me soak.
That's such a gross term.
I never understood that. Like where it's like
Well, you've never tried it,
where
clearly.
different religions were I keep shaking. Where different religions will like try to find these loopholes in following God's teachings. And it's like, all right, if you're gonna f***ing sin, just do it.
Just do it.
Don't do
wrong,
the
do
additional
wrong, right.
sin
Your
of
lashes.
being like, I'm smarter than God.
It's the same shit as like dudes that would they would drink like Robitussin to Robotrip. It's like just eat lysergic acid. Like just do the thing. Like why are you drinking?
You're a troubled young man.
Yes, he is.
That's why I was in the army.
got some
Why did you
demons.
end up in the army? You watched a Vietnam documentary and you were like, "That's the lifestyle."
You know, to quote Rick and Morty,
watched
I
The
just
Deer
love
Hunter.
killing.
You watched
Oh, here I go killing again.
Here I go killing again. Good guys, bad guys, my guys, your guys. I just love killing.
Just love it. Well, let's finally get to that question.
Oh, did you have a question?
Yes.
Okay.
Christofferson had a question.
You're so
There it goes.
I knew
This
one
is
of us,
why we can't have nice
one of
things.
us was gonna do it
was
during this
bound-
episode, and I'm so glad it wasn't
We
me.
bought the chairs, and
They're
I
like-
realized that they use the little screws to screw in the entire back piece. This
have to be
isn't
delicate with
properly connected.
Yeah, there's
It's just
one little screw in the
Allen
bottom.
screws. And
So would you? There you go. If you weren't
Better.
gonna do it, I was gonna do it. I'm so proud of you.
The
It's like the
episode
shirt.
ends with you just tackling him through his chair.
So before we get to our,
guess we need those benches.
yeah,
This is why you
ship
can't
out
have
next
these f***ing crack weasels around. They keep destroying
already
them.
broke things.
hey, are you going to keep this? Can I sell it?
Somebody said that on a live show.
Do it as a
The
giveaway.
Buffalo show. when you threw Brandon through the tables, I broke one of those tables in half after the show, and it was in 3 parts, and I gave it to somebody, and they said, "Can I sell this?" I said, "Sure."
Okay.
Go for it. Go right
Capitalism,
ahead.
baby.
It's listed on eBay for $12,000.
Yeah.
It will never sell. What was your question?
So my question,
It will never sell.
I want to know.
Before he goes, I wanted to know.
No, please. I want to know from Drill Sergeant High.
Yeah.
I want to know, what is something that you think every citizen should take from the military?
Ooh, good question.
And then we're going to get into our segment.
The one thing that the civilians should get from the military is to embrace the suck.
Hell yeah.
And for people who don't know what that is, it's basically an acknowledgement that whatever you're going to do that day, that one small instance, a task, it may not be what you want. It might be something unpleasant, but it's necessary. Yeah. And instead of just like bitching about it and making life miserable, which I see a lot of civilians doing, and just a lot of people in general, like, oh man, just go, f it. Let's go attack this thing real quick, get it done as fast as possible. Maybe we get out of here early and have a couple drinks. Right. And it's like, and once you do that mindset kind of kicks in, and it makes life in the workplace a lot easier, because now these tasks, instead of worrying about them and bitching about them and complaining and creating like a negative workspace, you and your group are like now like, all right, let's knock things out. It builds more trust with people. You grow together because you're not complaining anymore. And it makes the overall experience of work that much more positive and enjoyable. And then you get guys that don't mind staying a little bit late, and then you get more out of them when they work. And so that's a very real thing that I also deal with, like on the cop job, where you're just like, ugh, I've got to interview this woman that got today. You're like, do you think that your day's bad, guy? Yeah. I think that hers was rough, you know, considering the
Right. Yeah, I had this thing with producing when I was learning producing and how to get better and better at it, because I used to call it getting over the hill, because what you're doing when you're producing something is you're just trying to put people in place to do something very specific, like at the same time, blah, blah, blah. So what you need to do is you create all this momentum, and then once you get over the hill, everything kind of just falls down. Mm-hmm. But it's that push up and over that you have to do yourself.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it, nobody else will. But once you do it, then you can sit there and you go, look at that. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, I
think I described it a lot better than him.
It's false motivation.
False motivation is still motivation, baby.
Like when you're in a leadership position, like you come in the morning with like lots of false motivation. Like I don't want to be here. I don't want to run 10 miles today. I don't want to do this shit. But if you come in with like just a lot of false motivation, it actually motivates the people underneath of you. And then once they're motivated, you get it back from them, and now you are.
Now it's real.
And that's like that crest of the hill.
Yeah. Fake it till you make it, baby.
Yeah. Hey, you remember when you're going to have that deep conversation thought real quick? We'll put a button in that.
You.
Yeah.
We're gonna put a pin in that.
Oh, wow.
I'm outnumbered here.
You going to cry about it?
This is why I was excited about you being here, because I'm not outnumbered for once.
And on to the
I'm not
segment.
on your side. I don't like you. I don't like you either. So.
That's fair. I don't like me either, so we're good.
Oh, sweet. Something we can agree on.
Right.
Right. You, me, and your parents.
That's correct. Don't forget my brothers.
They're not your real brothers.
I know, I was adopted.
No, they just kidnapped you.
Even better.
They were from the 82nd, so you know what happens with the brooms in that house.
Yeah.
What was the segment we were going to do? I'm sorry.
So, Rich, we play a little segment.
Yeah.
And the segment that we specifically catered for you is...
Please be patient. My dad is dead. I have so many stories. This line, God, my life is
Yeah, no, it's fine. There's no reason that you're a cop.
Tell me the segment, and then if I remember, I'll tell you the story.
Okay, so, please be patient, my dad is dead. It's for those who do or do not have dead dads.
Okay.
And they need a little fatherly advice. And we curated some questions specifically for you. I dug around on Reddit and got some military questions from some privates asking questions on Reddit for you.
You keep saying Reddit, and I don't know if people know this, but that's where retards go to talk. So these are going to be some
These are
interesting
called.
questions.
These are private. You know the barracks lawyers.
Oh, yes.
It's gold.
Do I hold this up while I answer them?
You can if you want. Please.
It'll make a great short.
Please be
Cut
patient.
it like this.
Please be patient. My dad is dead.
Did you see how he
Question
waited
one.
until I had my hands down to redo that? Because
did.
he knows how to be on camera.
Professional.
Thank you.
He's a professional.
Yeah.
Please be patient. My dad is dead.
He just looks like a Mexican lawn care worker, but he's actually a professional.
I need you to be patient. My dad. I need to go to a school. The school bus is come.
Is this our first Pepperbox exclusive only episode?
Donde estoy es the school bus.
All right. So,
Mi abuela is dead. Abuela outside with Jesus Christos.
Why are you so good at that?
I used to sit in my room alone, like watching Jim Carrey and try to get like voices down.
Do you like Jim Carrey too?
Loved him. Loved him.
We had similar childhoods.
Don't talk to me.
so this first is from a I don't know his rank.
It's the language of love. I love it so much.
Yeah, you dirty little whore.
Hatred is how you tell your male friends you love them,
That's how you tell me. That's how you
it is.
tell me care.
or you get them to themselves. But either way,
Win-win. That way you got a body.
Yeah.
and
Now
then
you
we
gotta-
get a party at the.
Now you're a real man. If you don't have any bodies on the back of your chair, you're not a real man.
That's right.
Bro,
The chair's got to have hash marks on the back of it.
I would love for you to yourself. Because the party after would be great.
Oh, dude, we partied up for
I
you.
was
dog.
explaining to them when I was on 100 at first, like I would go around to all the other team bays and I would smash the wheels off all the other chairs. Like I was the only staff sergeant that had wheels on his chair.
Yeah, you
Dude,
did it
that's
as
some
a
toxic
power move.
leadership shit.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
I absolutely can get behind. That is a psyop. I'm the one with the wheels.
You wouldn't let anyone else have wheels on their chair.
That's a power trip.
It is.
Oh man.
Fuck with me. And the back of my chair had
Save
tally
it for
marks
the
on it,
after
and
show.
it said like you can't sit in this chair unless you've killed a man. We would tally marks in the back.
We would get along. We would also fist fight each other, but we would also get along.
1000%.
Yeah.
It would be exactly what we were talking about before the show. We were like,
Yeah.
I don't remember why I don't like you.
And then we would make jokes about why we don't like each other,
Yeah.
which then would make us like each other.
All right.
Questions?
So
Neither one of us.
we've
would
got a
have
soldier
rules.
on leave, and he asks, "I accidentally ate an edible. What do I do?"
This is the text message that you've received.
I accidentally ate an edible, and I'm kind of freaking out. I need advice on what I do next. Do I tell my COC to get ahead of it, or just keep it to myself?
First of all, don't ever say I accidentally ate or did a drug. To me, if you want me to respect you and give you advice, you f***ing bitch, you ate it on purpose. F***ing deal with it.
This is a direct quote of what I said when we were meeting.
Literally.
Really?
Yeah, I said, first of all, don't text me and say you accidentally did a fucking thing. Like,
You did it on purpose, you little shit. You did it on purpose.
Now you're high as f*** and you're freaking out. And you're
now you're having a
paranoid.
panic attack and you're
Yeah.
texting me and you're f***ing me up because I'm also high because it's leave. Leave me alone.
Well,
That's
not,
what it means.
not me, because I'm not going to incriminate myself. Right. So this is what you do, dipshit. Yes, you tell your first line leader and say, if you've got a good, I'm going to pretend like I'm his first line leader.
Okay.
All right, because I'm me, you're you.
You got a homie.
I'm your first line leader. You've texted me. I'm freaking out. I accidentally ate an edible. First of all, you didn't accidentally eat shit. Second of all, you're not going to say anything. I am going to watch over you for the next 2 weeks until it takes time to get out of your body. You know how it gets out of your body? Your fat has to be burnt off. You know what that means? Extra PT in the morning,
hell yeah.
in the afternoon, and at night. You're going to sweat it out. You're going to burn all that fat off. And if we get a pee test, before you say and do anything, I'm going to say, hey, sir, Private so-and-so came up to me 2 days ago and said,
Yep.
even though it wasn't 2 days ago, it was whatever ago. 2 days ago is going to be what we're going to say, where he has a problem and he needs assistance.
Yep.
And then you're going to get help for it, you f***ing retard. And then you won't get kicked out of the military. P.S. Do it again and see how f***ing fast I piss test you, you little shit.
So they won't kick you out straight away.
No.
No, you have to say that you've got a problem. But if they go, hey, we got a P test today and you're going, you can't then go, I've got a problem.
Yeah.
You have to let your first line leader know, and me being your first line leader, you'd be like, Jake's got a piss test. Hey, sir, I got to talk to you
See,
offline.
at Notre Dame,
2
they
days
would
ago-
just kick you out.
No,
No,
the
it's
NCR
not.
test.
The NCR world is a good old boys club too.
They would
So
hair
we all
test
like
us.
look out for each other. So like we know, like the guy that's in charge of the piss test, like he knows when that's coming down. So he'll like put it out to the other NCOs. So all the other NCOs know Like
There was no "I have a problem
Yeah.
and I'm working on it" thing. If you got,
Yeah, no.
they would hair test you.
You just
got to
be in front of it.
caught, They would kick you. They
you
would
think
kick
you
you
guys-
out of
which is
school. and
fucking
they'd
weird,
take-
we would
they'd
take
remove
Christian
you and
college.
take all
Just
the-
wouldn't
He
be
just
like
put it in a closet and just not
forgiveness?
turn it in.
There's no bigger whore than the preacher's daughter, sir.
It says a whore mana.
All of these
They
things.
brought the greatest trades.
Everything's making sense. This is how you start your day off if you're going to binge drink.
This is a morning show.
This is a morning show
It's a
for
mor-
alcoholics.
Friday morning.
Next question.
Saturday morning.
Yeah, for Saturday morning.
Yeah, maybe we drop one
Yeah, maybe we
NCO said, I don't care about regulation. You do what I say. Should I fight it? Article 670-1 issue boots are allowed to be worn in civilian attire, but NCO said above, I just needed to get something from my car, Sarge. Why you yelling? I'll take a large sweet tea and
So-
some orange chicken.
It was a private.
Oh, I know what's happening.
Okay.
I've read. He read it to me. Were you here in the room?
Yep.
Yeah, so was I.
Just wanted to make
you
sure.
made eye contact with me. I heard what he said.
Private and issue boots.
Yeah, I don't have any. I don't have an issue listening.
So what we figured, they're sergeants to each other.
Yeah, that's how sergeants work.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're hateful to kind of everyone all the
it.
time.
Well, he's doing the right thing and being like, "Hey, did you get that?" And then I'm playfully saying back, "Yeah, I got it."
It's-
But instead of him saying,
I love sergeants.
"Did you get that?" He's like,
There's so many.
"Let me speak slower."
it's supervision and refinement.
This is one of my favorite things to say. I'm happy that I get to say this. This is a real teaching moment.
Going to be a direct quote again.
Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should f***ing do it, or that there's no repercussions to the thing that you decided to do. So, do you want to live a difficult life and look stupid? Or do you want to live an easy life and look professional? Take off your f***ing boots and put on your soft shoes, you little bitch. I'm now going to get a specialist to fight you.
Okay, so now I got a barracks lawyer to back this up. A little addition to this one.
Awesome. A guy who thinks he knows things.
He's a clear like a E4 demoted. barracks lawyer.
Ultimately, this fight isn't about whether you were wrong. It's a teaching moment for old Sarge. Ask him to counsel you on it. And that way, you have it all in writing when you get to correct him for stupidity.
Just like the phrase "teaching moment" for old Sarge just boils something inside of me.
Does he think that because he said, all right, I gotta
It's
paint.
like hard to. Yep.
I gotta paint this picture. This specialist is saying, "Hey, buddy, tell him to counsel you for it.
Yeah.
That'll teach him."
Right.
Hey, retard, do you think that lower enlisted guy going up to me, his NCO, and saying, "Counsel me for it"? Do you think that I'm automatically gonna do what he said and counsel him? You think I'm gonna go, "Okay, I'll do what you said, guy that I just yelled at"? No, I'm not gonna counsel him. And you're right. Hey, it's part of the rules. I can't make him do push-ups or whatever because it's technically the right thing. Guess who's gonna have all the shitty details for the next month?
Yep. You think I won't motivate a couple of E4s I'm cool with a case of beer to come knock on your door at 2 o'clock in the morning?
Your dad is dead because he himself after having you. You worthless, soft-headed child. He said this was the one that swam into the egg.
Damn it!
One night of Hoggin. One night of Hoggin in this retard's
One
mind.
time. How many bridges do you have to build? One hog.
You're a bridge builder or a hog hunter? You choose, boy.
Subi.
Okay, I've got one last one for you.
I'm so glad. This was the best segment we put together yet.
Okay,
You get the same heartburn.
are you ready?
He's sitting over here flexing his pecs, getting ready to fight.
They were murdering me the
He's
first
getting
time
ready
we
to
read them.
fight.
He's ready to kill a
They're
private
like
right
actual
now.
moments that have happened in my
Oh,
life.
these are very real dumb people.
Yeah.
2 a.m. in the morning when I'm on leave and I get a text like, "Hey Sarge, I just did cocaine." Like, bro, I don't need to know this. Like, don't text me. Leave me alone.
Tell him to counsel you. That'll teach him.
Yeah, let me put it on paper to wreck your career for the rest of the time that you're
Yeah,
here.
it's his fault. He hasn't properly counseled
All right.
you.
God.
Are you ready for this last one?
No.
How to respectfully tell leadership they're wrong.
Oh, I'm good at that.
Looking for
Oh, this is a good question. This is a real question.
Yeah. Looking
Now it
for
gets-
advice on how to actually tell senior leadership they are wrong about something in the regs. Do I just print the shit off and read it to them?
Oh God, it started so strong and then ended so badly,
isn't it?
You're gonna print out the
think I could even
regulation
answer
and
this
then
one.
give it to you.
Excuse me, Sergeant Major. I would like to present to you this paperwork that I pulled off of the internet.
Where is your sergeant? We're gonna have a conversation with him and the proper chain of command.
I'm going to wreck everyone between me and you, and they will wreck you appropriately afterwards.
Do these people like want violence?
Yes.
Because you could just go, they're wrong and I'm right, and then walk away and nothing bad will happen to anybody. You can still be right. They can still be wrong. You didn't have to do anything. It was just a disagreement. It could just end there, you idiot.
Can you imagine like being quoted the 670-1 back at you? Well, Sergeant, actually.
If you do that, I will say there are moments. There are moments where you have to be like, hey, this is the way that it's written. You're incorrect. And you'd be like, oh, okay, cool, my bad. Those moments happen.
Yeah, in a meeting amongst peers.
Correct. You can't just do it in front of God and everybody.
Yeah.
Because if you publicly embarrass someone, even if you're right, you're showing a lack of respect for the position that they're in. So you can disagree with somebody. You can print out something and show it to them. However, the professional way to do it would be to pull them aside or find them later on and be like, hey, Sergeant, I know that you said that this was this. I looked up the regulation. It said that. What would you like me to do?
That sounds great. It's a platoon standard.
Boom. Platoon standard. But yeah, there's other things too. Like this is the platoon standard. The platoon standard can be like, hey,
It's PT scores.
you've got to put your I don't know, a used tampon in your right boot pocket.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it, then you're out of regulation. Well, that's not in 670-1. Well, that's our rules here.
Yeah, this is platoon standard. It was a big thing with PT scores. Well, the Army standard is a 180. Well, to be in this platoon, it's a 300. So
You can go somewhere else and go suck your
somewhere
dick.
else. You can
That's
take
fine.
that argument and go work in S1. But if you
Yeah.
want to be here and be a man and carry a big gun, it's a 300.
You want to live in my house, you follow my rules. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That one was a lot more tame than...
That one boiled my blood a lot more than...
Sorry, I accidentally ate
Marijuana brownies.
It's the 2 a.m. text when you're at home with your family trying to enjoy your leave and you get that text message and you're just like...
And you know what? That kid that wrote that is so full of shit on a second level because it wasn't an edible. He fucking smoked meth. He did fucking meth.
Yeah.
And then he's like, how do I downplay it? How long is, it was an edible. It was marijuana. You butt smoked meth.
Yeah.
You're trying to fucking portray it like you just had a little too much to drink and drove home. No, you fucking butt smoked meth in a YMCA with 18 guys in a fucking train, butt one another. And doing an elephant walk where they're just grabbing each other's tusks.
Well, I've got one more if you want it. If that one was too
yes.
soft,
One more. That was more soft than my wiener in the YMCA.
I feel like this one might get to you.
Please be patient. My dad is dead.
Am I wrong for skipping chain of command?
Yes, you idiot. Yes.
It gets worse, dude.
Oh, there's more?
Yeah.
I was in a situation over the weekend and needed a ride. I skipped my first line supervisor asking for help and went straight to the PSG because he said in a safety
PSG?
brief, I don't drink, so if you ever need a ride, I got you. I skipped my first line because I knew they had been drinking that night.
When
I
I
got
said
into
that, that's not
trouble
what I
for
meant.
asking my PSG to pick me up.
Have you been a platoon sergeant? Have you ever received 3 a.m. phone calls from privates that are at the bar?
I got one from my dad one time. That was cool. He's like, I can't drive. And I was just like, I've been waiting for this.
This is my moment to shine.
Like, you've made me a man. I get to pick you up and take you home and take care of you.
Send
Dad.
him a
Thank
Google
you.
search for an Uber download.
Listen, if you don't want these little f***ing pieces of shit to call you, don't give them the option.
Yeah,
Don't give them the option. And then don't be mad if they take you up on it. I would rather get the 3 a.m. call. That's okay. I would still want you to talk to your first line leader because he might be able to solve it. He might not be the one to drive you home, but he might have an alternate solution to the problem. That's not really skipping your chain of command, but it's not doing it the right way. You should still call your guy. Hey boss, man, I'm too hammered. Do you have any solutions? No. All right. I'm going to call PSG, the PSG. I'm going to call Sergeant First Class so-and-so.
Yeah, it's just keeping your first line in the loop.
You got to keep me in the loop.
And the mistake that you made here is that you didn't keep the first line in the loop.
Yeah.
You just jumped the loop and went straight to PSG, which means PSG is coming to section sergeant, back down to team leader, and everyone is having a bad day.
with a problem. You skipped your first guy and went to the next guy with a problem.
Ultimately, though, as the platoon sergeant, I'd rather get that like phone call or text at 3 a.m. than the alternative where I get the phone call from sergeant major or first sergeant about you getting a DUI tonight.
Yeah. How do you not get like a Uber where you're from? Call a taxi.
This is a real life thing.
Get a
that is
pizza
happening.
order. Do you want to know a hack? Order a pizza to your location. When the pizza delivery guy comes over, you give him a couple bucks and say, "Can you drop me off home?"
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, oh, miracle.
Yeah.
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle.
Please be patient. My dad is dead.
I think that's it, boys.
That's
Thank
it, boys.
you, Rich.
Thank you for watching this episode of Man vs. Morning. On to the after show that you can find exclusively on pepperbox.tv.